The young college basketball season rolls on here on the ACC Network Extra. From the University of Notre Dame, it's Thursday Night Hoops as the Fighting Irish take on the Chicago State Cougars here at Purcell Pavilion. And with that, we welcome you in alongside former Notre Dame basketball player Zach Hillisland. I'm Nick Valdesari. And Zach, Notre Dame lost two seniors from last season, VJ Beecham and Steve Astoria. It's a lot to fill with those two guys out.
And not just two seniors, right? We're talking about guys that went to two Elite Eights and kind of did everything on the court, both ends of the floor. You're losing a lot of production. There are lots of experience. But you look at guys like Temple Gibbs have stepped in and really have been a big part of the program thus far. And I think you're going to look at a guy like DJ Harvey as the season goes on. We're going to really need him as we get into ACC play as well.
And we got to fill two starting spots. You got to look for Rex Pfluger, and what a career night it was against Mount St. Mary's.
Well, you look at the double-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He also had 2 steals, but the stat that I love, 0 turnovers. For a guy that loves to play with a ton of energy, a ton of passion, for him to be able to play under control and have 0 turnovers and also play great defense on Junior Robinson, just a heck of a performance from Rex.
And when you talk about career nights, it seems like Bonzie Colson, the senior, does it each night. And what a performance it was for him against Mount St. Mary's too. 2 double-doubles for him so far.
Well, I think we were all kind of wondering what it was going to be like for Bonzie with a target on his back this year. And so far, he's proven that he's the same old dude and maybe even cooler than he was. Gets down in that low block, shimmy, shake, fade away. He's added some passing to his game this year as well. He can really do everything, and he's looking supremely confident to start the year off.
And with that, we take a look at tonight's starting lineups for Chicago State. 1-2 on the season. It's a guard-heavy starting 5. Rob Shaw, Glenn Burns, Fred Sims Jr., Anthony Harris, and Patrick Spear to round it out. For the Irish, the 13th ranked team in the country. They're 2-0 on the season so far. Matt Farrell, TJ Gibbs Jr., Rex Pfluger, Bonzie Colson, and Martinez Gebben, and Zach TJ Gibbs Jr. with that huge 21-point game to start his starting season.
Well, that T in TJ stands for Temple, and he certainly treated his body as such over the summertime, dropping about 15 to 20 pounds, changed his number, looking young, looking fresh, and he's been great for this Irish team, stepping up, knocking down shots, and showing some leadership along the way.
There's head coach Mike Bray in his 18th season, 384 wins here at Notre Dame, now just 9 behind the legend Digger Phelps, and 10 away from taking that all-time Notre Dame mark. Tonight's officials, Bill Covington Jr., Brian O'Connell, and Michael Stevens. Notre Dame controls wearing those home yellow-gold jerseys. Chicago State showing the man early. They're wearing the road greens. Got their first win against Silver Lake College this past week. Farrell at the elbow, jump shot off the mark. And a foul on Colson to start things off.
And that's a good call. He definitely went over the back there, but you like to see that from Matt Farrell, right? He's getting a quick shot, an early shot, and we need him to be aggressive. He needs to score for us. Traditionally a pass-first guy and a great leader, and he's going to do those things as well, but we need him to score this year.
And Colson, terrific, along with Farrell, who has struggled from the field, just 10 of 26 from the field, but Colson with those 2 double-doubles. Here is Chicago State. And Rob Spear, a sophomore, alongside 3 juniors and a senior in the starting lineup. Here is Rob Shaw. Step back jump shot, no good. Colson controls the rebound.
Didn't have the greatest spin on that shot. Not surprised it came off.
Farrell, dribble drive, and a dish to Martinez Gebben. And the Irish on the board first.
You got to love the student section throwing up the confetti there. They came ready to play as well.
Yeah, tradition here. Throwing up the newspaper. And the Irish score their first basket. They're 2-0, we mentioned, beating Mount St. Mary's here on Monday night. And there's Rex Pfluger, his first career double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, as we alluded to. Him and Gibbs, the 2 new starters for this Irish team. There is Gibbs, the 3-point shot too strong. And rebound Harris.
That was a great pass out of the double team by Martin Eskemen. Unfortunate not to knock that one down.
Chicago State already has played 2 Big Ten teams, lost to Iowa and Purdue. Now another Power 5 team on the docket here with Notre Dame. These 2 teams played last season. Notre Dame leads the all-time series 4-0. Irish beat them 91-60 a year ago. And Colson another rebound in that game. Colson had a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds.
He'll do that in the first half of some games.
Now the way it's gone so far, that's been his calling card. Colson already averaging 22.5 points and 12 rebounds in the 2 games they've played.
I'll tell you what, Chicago State has come out with a ton of defensive pressure so far.
They certainly have. Gibbs in the corner for 3, and he drills it.
Well, that's good to see. That's the first game this season where a starter has knocked down our first 3, so that's a good sign for the Irish.
Gibbs on the board with a 3-pointer. Irish up 5-0, and they force a turnover. You talk about the defensive pressure by Chicago State. Notre Dame doing the same thing on that end.
Well, that's one thing Coach Bray has been talking about a lot this year. He really trusts his guys defensively, and they can ratchet it up to another level if they need to, whereas maybe in years past we've relied more so on our offense.
Farrell being guarded by Harris. Nice effort by Harris. Gebbin comes loose with it, and an easy 2-hand jam down the baseline, and a quick timeout taken by Tracy Dildy. Has seen enough. An early 7-point lead for Notre Dame. And with that, we will take a break here on the ACC Network Extra. And check that, we'll stay here. Gebbin with the 2-hand jam. And something head coach Mike Bray talked about is him needing to play with confidence. And so far, so good.
Well, that summertime really did a lot for his confidence. And we talk about a guy like Temple Gibbs dropping some weight. Martinez Gebbin lost some weight as well. And you can see it right there. He's flying around, playing with a lot of energy, feeling really bouncy, and very confident as well. So I love to see when he gets a quick start because he's a big part of this Notre Dame Irish team and a great kid and loves to play hard.
Yeah, and he played in the World University Games this past summer, played for the Lithuanian national team in Taipei and Taiwan, and had a 20-11 game against Russia, and of course had an efficient game against the U.S. team in the final to take home the gold. As Harris driving down baseline, left-hand layup's good.
They did a nice job getting the edge there and kind of sneaking up with that left hand early and able to get on the glass with a nice finish.
And Tracy Dildy's squad on the board after the timeout. Down low to Colson again. He's got the size matchup and fouled on the hook shot.
Well, Martinez Gebbin getting the benefit of the doubt there, getting the early foul. He loves telling us after the game, he's like, the refs hate me. They're always calling stuff on me. But so he's getting one go. Yeah, look at that. Nice little spin move, strong, confident. Got bumped a little bit, and the ball just caught the side of the backboard. But he's going to go to the free throw line where he shot a pretty good percentage for most of his career.
Yeah, Glenn Burns with his first foul tonight. Gebbin last season shot 76.7% from the charity stripe off the mark there. He's now 2 for 4 on the young season.
As I jinx him, of course, you know, that's what they
right.
say. You start talking about it, and he throws up a brick, but it still looks good. Most big men don't have that great of form on their free throw, but you look at his mechanics, and they're very sound, and the ball comes off true.
Gebbin gets a high bounce.
Shooter's roll.
And it goes in. So 1 for 2 from the line. The Irish up 6. Gebbin had 9 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the 15 minutes against Mount St. Mary's on Monday. And he's one of the 3 seniors for the Irish, just 14 wins away from notching the most winning 4-year period for a class in Notre Dame history.
And the Irish looking at a 1-2-2 zone, which they've used a lot this year.
And Harris dissecting it. Excuse me, that's Sims Jr., and he knocks down the jump shot.
You know, against any zone, you want to get in that middle and kind of break it up, and that's what he did there with a nice spin move.
Sims Jr. leading the team with 13 points a game this season. That ball off a Cougar, and that will be Notre Dame ball when we come back. Irish with an early lead, 8-4. We've played 4 here at Purcell Pavilion. Back here at Purcell Pavilion, Mike Bray taking out the old turtleneck, and maybe that's why Marty Gebbin already has 5 points, the leading scorer for the Irish in the Notre Dame 8-4 so far this one.
Well, Marty getting a well-deserved break there. They've been going to him more so than I ever have seen at the start of a basketball game, and he's certainly answered the call.
Bonzi inside, couldn't finish that one, gets his own rebound, up and in, hoop plus the harm, Bonzi to the line.
Yeah, Bonzi's just padding his stats there. He had a wide-open layup, blew it, got the rebound, and a chance for a three-point play, so I think he's playing the long con on that one, Nick.
Yeah, Colson back to back rebounds, and Bonzi's had such a hot start to the season. Voted that preseason AP All-American team. A nice starting 5, Miles Bridges, Alonzo Trier, Jalen Brunson, Michael Porter Jr., and ACC preseason player of the year. And although it's only 2 games, Zach, he certainly showed why he's been given those preseason accolades.
Absolutely. He's just got the full toolkit. You know, he can score from anywhere on the floor. He rebounds with those super long arms, and I've been impressed with his defensive intensity this year as well. He's got some steals, some blocks. He's playing like a senior should play. You know, this is your last go-around. You got to make the most of it.
Foul on the floor. Offensive foul, so the Irish will get it back. Up 7 here early. There is Mr. Colson. 25 career double-doubles, now tied with Armin Rio and Zach August for most in Notre Dame history. Luke Herringody, who you played with, 64 career double-doubles to lead the Irish. Pfluger at the elbow, trying to find Elijah Burns, who just checked in. But he'll stay here with Notre Dame with 18 on the shot clock.
Yeah, right idea there from Rex. Just a little bit too much of a lead pass, not enough space there for Burns to corral that. But lucky that the Chicago State guys hit that one out, so we'll get that back, get another chance to do some fun stuff.
Burns hands it off to Gibbs. Colson inside, step back, jump shot, good. Bonzie Colson using that array to get 2 on the board.
And that's just the feel that he has. He catches that down there, he's got a guy on him, just gets a little shimmy, step back, creates enough space to hit that beautiful fadeaway jump shot from 6-8 feet out.
Notre Dame up to an early 9-point lead. Harris across the way to Glenn Burns. Burns, the senior from West Memphis. Inside to Sims Jr. Gets it blocked and denied by Bonzie Colson. Rebound. Stephen Holmes couldn't get it to go. Bonzie coming away with it.
Got to hold on to that one, Bonds.
He does. Back the other way. Rob Shaw up and in. And an offensive foul called on Mr. Shaw, the left-handed player, and disappointed with that call.
I was actually getting ready to tear into the refs because I thought they were calling a foul on Rex Pfluger, and that was the absolute right call. You'll see right here, he extends his right arm right into the chest of Rex Pfluger. I would have been okay with a no call there as well, but if you're going to call a foul, I think that was the right choice.
Yeah, you're right. That right elbow extension. Shaw leads the team with 4 assists on the season in the 3 games that the Cougars have played. He turns it over there. Harvey has checked into the game.
Ooh.
And there's that pressure defense from the Cougars.
Yeah, they appear to be in some sort of zone right now. I can't quite tell. It looks like a 1-3-1, but I'll have to keep an eye on it. But you got to give them credit. They're definitely pouring in the energy on this defensive end, making it difficult for us just to even get an entry pass. So got to be sharp with the ball here and be good receivers.
The Cougars 6-26 a season ago. A tough go-around. Just 1 win in the Western Athletic Conference. Matt Farrell from the corner. Harvey with a rebound. Harvey back up with it, and the freshman showing off that strength.
Well, I tell you what, he doesn't look like a freshman. He rarely plays like a freshman. He got up really high for that rebound, got a nice little chicken wing there down low, able to scoop around and get that up on the glass.
Harvey's on the board the other way as Anthony Harris gave him the pump fake and got the foul. He'll head to the line to shoot 2. And we've highlighted DJ Harvey a lot in the early games so far this season. You know, another DeMatha product. And how about this finish?
These guys just know how to play. You see that little chicken wing, you know, not enough to call it, but enough to kind of stabilize yourself, get that balance, and get that angle. Goes up, powers up off 2, and finish it nicely.
Harvey averaging 6.5 points in the 2 games. A free throw miss there by Anthony Harris, who is 7 of 8 for the line in the 3 games so far, so gets his 2nd miss of the season.
You know, my big question is, when are these athletic brands going to figure out that the kids want shorter shorts? How many guys out here have rolled over their shorts? It's strange looking, but you gotta respect what the consumer wants. Let's bring them the short shorts back, you know?
Yeah, some players still bring them back.
Yeah.
Farrell pushing the pace, finds Burns in the corner.
Good ball fake.
Burns has shown that range, hit his first career 3 on Monday. Bonzie at the free throw line. Sizes up and hits.
I mean, you can't defend it. You can't defend it. He's up at the top of the key. You got him surrounded. He gives you a little bit of a shimmy shake. He sees that your hands are down. He's going to take the shot.
Colson scored 14 of the first 24 points against Mount St. Mary's. He's already got 7 tonight. Inside, and Deontay Simmons fouled.
Yeah, that's the second early foul on Elijah Burns, and I think those are 2 good calls. The first one was on a pump fake that he didn't stay down on, and that one he gets his right arm in, where I think he has to come around with his left if he wants to challenge that, because when you get your right arm in on that, you got to cross your body, and that's going to create contact, and that's what happened there. So he's got to be careful. He's got 2 quick ones.
Yeah, Burns will stay in. John Mooney checks in for Notre Dame. Mooney, the true sophomore from Orlando, Florida, standing 6'9", about 250. Driving down the lane, Fred Sims Jr. fouled at the charge circle. He'll head to the line to shoot two himself.
Yeah, a lot of whistles early on here. I don't love that one as much as some of the earlier foul calls. It looked just kind of out of control a little bit, but I guess, Mooney's got his little forearm shiver out there, catches the guy in the chest, so you got to call it.
Fred Sims Jr., the junior, if you will, from Chicago, Illinois, went to North Lawndale. 7 of 10 from the free throw stripe before that one. And he's led the team in points 30 times throughout his career. Led the team last year with 18 points per game. Was a second-team All-Selection in that WAC conference. Irish getting the full press against them early. Pfluger breaks it with Farrell.
Good decision there to pull it back out. He could have forced a pass, but he made the right call and to calm this thing down a little bit.
We've seen Notre Dame like to push the pace, but also a great half-court team. Pfluger will hit the three off the mark. And rebound, Cougars.
Yeah, that's one where Mooney either had to stay with his back turn and flip it up with the right or flip it up with the left, but he kind of went up with two and gave too much of an area to block that shot.
Cameron Bowles on the ball. Swings it out to Burns. Back out to Bowles. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Sims Jr. Anthony Harris, and he travels.
Yep, that's a good call. I got called for that all the time in my career, believe you me. You get too excited. You know what move you want to do, but you just rush it a little bit and you pick up that pivot foot.
Yeah, you take that step before you put the ball down.
Hopefully he never has to play in Europe because they call you if you just think about that move.
I'm sure. The Irish get possession back, up 11. Farrell behind the back. Has to pick up his dribble to Mooney, who's well out of his comfort zone. Pfluger now driving down the baseline. Lost it. Steal by Sims Jr. He's got one man to beat in Harvey. To the lane. Up. Can't finish. Harvey standing tall.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job there not fouling and making Sims take a tough shot.
Farrell pushing the pace. Irish will reset. One of the bottom 100 teams in pace last season were Notre Dame, but the second team in the country in assists to turnover ratio. And that was led by this man, Matt Farrell. A little dribble move in between the legs. Shot off the mark. Burns fighting with it. Pfluger comes up with it. Puts it up and in off the glass.
Well, great job there initially by Elijah Burns to keep that play alive. But you see Rex Pfluger getting on the glass as well, and he's just been a terror on the boards thus far on the season from that kind of 3-4 position, doing some good work here.
Steal by Farrell. Farrell to the rack. Gets fouled on his way and will head to the line. When we come back, Notre Dame in control, up 13 here on the ACC Network Extra. Large part and thanks to Matt Farrell. Notre Dame out to a sizable lead, 19-6, 13-point lead. We take a look at Matt Farrell's player profile. Zach, he struggled from the field so far, but he has such an impact in different ways, and of course that jump last year to become the starter for this team.
Well, he's a guy that has just tremendous work ethic and has been waiting his time. Like a lot of guys do in this program. You might not get a ton of minutes your freshman, sophomore year, but when your name is called, you're expected to step up and perform, and he's certainly done that and exceeded everyone's expectations, I believe. And he's just such a tough kid, so fun to watch, and that graphic's kind of funny because that's maybe one of the only times you'll see him smile. He's an intense, hard-working kid.
Farrell at the line, shot just under 80% a year ago, knocks down both. Just his third and fourth free throws of the young season. He checks out for the sophomore TJ Gibbs, and Notre Dame up 15. They've led the whole way. Bringing up the ball is Anthony Harris, guarded by that freshman Harvey. He gets a screen from Simmons. And a foul on Harvey in the paint.
Yeah, they switched off there on the screening action. Mooney went out to Harvey's man. Harvey kind of got pinned down. I think he got a little bit too active with the hands and right in front of the referee, an easy call.
So Harvey's first foul. Chicago State hasn't scored in the last 2 minutes. Here's Sims Jr. Had 19 points in that win a few days ago against Silver Lake College. He's going to take a deep three. That one off the mark. Hits the front rim and goes out, and Irish ball.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest of jumpers. It's got a little bit of a hitch to it, but he's certainly going to get his shots up, so you got to be out there to challenge him. And certainly in position to rebound.
Mentioned Sims Jr. was a second-team all-WAC selection last year, preseason first-team selection. Although Chicago State picked to finish last in the Western Athletic Conference behind Grand Canyon, who's picked a finish first. And how about TJ Gibbs knocking down the deep shot?
Yeah, it's Chicago State back in that 1-3-1 extended zone, but all it took was a little pass to the high post to Bonzie Colson and a kick out right back to Temple Gibbs to knock down the three. So they might have to go back to man here. That was a little bit too easy.
Gibbs knocks down his 5th and 6th three-pointers so far in this one. Inside, Gevin with a denial.
Great job there by Marty, holding his ground. Didn't go for the pump fake, stayed down, and swatted that ball when it became available.
Harvey from the corner, way off. Rebound, Colson. Try to loop around, gets it to Gevin. Gevin going up and fouled. And back to the charity stripe go the Irish. They've already taken 5 shots from the line.
Well, if you're going to shoot an air ball, it's a good guy to get into the hands of Bonzie Colson. He's able to squeeze it over there to Marty Gevin, who does a couple pump fakes, 1-2, and gets another foul called for him. I'm going to have to talk to Marty after the game and tell him that the refs have turned their fortunes for him. He's their favorite child. He's a pet. He's their little pet today.
He's gone up strong. This is that free throw. He's been strong on all 3 free throws, but 1 for 3 nonetheless.
I think he's just so excited to get foul calls eventually. He can't contain his excitement at the free throw line.
Gevin with 2 offensive rebounds this season, an average, so 4 on the year. So he's been active on the glass as well and knocks down the 2nd free throw. The Irish currently on an 8-0 run.
Yeah, and he took his time on that when he could see him take an extra long breath, center himself, and get that one up there with a nice soft touch.
Jelani Pruitt, who's checked in, looks for Bowles in the corner. He's being guarded by Colson. Baseline drive, has to kick it out, turnover. Gibbs picks it up. Gibbs going to try and pick up the tempo. Screen from Gevin. Colson from outside. Too strong, rebound Pruitt. And all of a sudden the pace has picked up a little bit. At the left elbow. Shot good by Simmons. And that ends that 8-0 route.
And that's one of those shots where you give him the first one, he knocks it down. Maybe you pay a little bit more attention the next time he's in that area. So get a hand up.
Yeah, Simmons, a senior, and more known for his defense, leading the team in blocks. But hits that jump shot.
Wow.
Nice pass by Gibbs inside to an open Colson. And how about that duo? Gibbs to Colson.
I didn't know where that play was going because Bonzie had the space down there, and Gibbs drove right at him and was able to squeeze kind of an over-the-top pass. You don't see much of that. You usually teach your players to get bounce passes on the interior, but just an incredibly precise pass there from Temple.
Pruitt denied, and it goes off him. Back to the Irish. That's their 4th block already tonight.
Chicago State, they play hard. They play really hard on both ends. They just don't quite have the offensive firepower to deal with some of these bigger, high major teams.
Yeah, they've struggled from the field, 37% in the 3 games they've played. Scoring just over 68 points per game. Gibbs driving, corner 3 from Farrell. He knocks it down, and Matt Farrell finally with his first field goal of the night.
And if you go back and compare that shot to his first 3 from that same spot in that corner, the trajectory, the arc, entirely different. You can just tell coming out of his hand on that first one that it was going to be short, but that one he got it nice up and high and got it to fall and he gave a little look of exasperation on his face like, I got one to go down. It's like, yeah, just change the arc. You'll be all right. You got a good stroke.
Farrell 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 from downtown. There's a 3 from Sims Jr., no good. Here's Farrell pushing the pace. Oh, what a pass to Pfluger. Couldn't handle it. And that rebound goes into the hands of Pruitt. Pruitt, step back, jump shot, way off. And there's that fast pace again. Another pass. Gevin lost control, but it'll stay Irish ball. And Notre Dame in control, 30-8. And how about this? Matt Farrell knocking down another 3. Now 29 straight games with a 3-pointer made. That leads the ACC. No trouble for Mike Bray's team here early against the Cougars, and he's got another tool in his toolbox with TJ Gibbs. Kind of the off guard, but man, can he pass the ball too.
Well, he basically has 2 point guards on the court at one time, and you see right there, he drives and does a nice little flip pass to Bonzie. Kind of takes the defense by surprise, and Bonzie able to get it up there for the finish.
And right there, you saw Austin Torres going up strong. His first action of the night, and he gets fouled going up, and Austin Torres now in his graduate season, kind of a vocal leader on that bench, and he's back for another go-around.
Well, I love Austin Torres. He's just like the Energizer Bunny. He comes in and he brings so much energy. He's flying around, probably the most athletic guy on the team, and he's usually good for a couple rebounds, getting around the basket, taking a charge. He just does those little things that you love as a coach. You can really inject your guys with some energy if they're, slacking off it a little bit.
He, alongside Rex Pfluger, played for the East Coast All-Stars, the U.S. travel team coached by legend Larry Brown in Spain, 4 games in Spain. And Torres suffered a stress fracture, but this is his first action of the young season as he's off the mark from the free throw line. Did not shoot particularly well from the stripe last year, just 33%.
Yeah, definitely not a great free throw shooter. Got a little bit of a crooked hitch there, but he still brings so much to your team that you got to throw some minutes at him.
He's 0 for 2 from the line there. Top of the key, Pruitt swinging it over. Montana Bird, who's checked in. See a lot of substitutes for Chicago State. They got about a 12 to 13 man rotation. Pruitt trying to hop step towards the free throw line, and a loose ball foul there by Deontay Simmons as Farrell was trying to track it.
Yeah, he gave just a little bit too hard of a pound dribble there, and it got away from him, and Farrell did a good job coming up with the loose ball there and holding on for the foul. Are we in the bonus already?
Yeah, 18 fouls on the Cougars. That'll put Farrell to the line to shoot 1-1 with still 7 minutes left in this first half. We talked about it earlier. Farrell now 29 straight games with a 3-point field goal made, the longest streak actively in the ACC. A terrific overall player, and he hasn't shot the ball well from the field, but overall from three-point line he has.
Well, he's a great shooter, right? So it's like you see some of this early season misses, and you don't get too concerned about it because he's a senior kid. He's a tough kid. He's going to figure it out, and he's been shooting great in practice. So this is something he's got to work out the kinks, but we fully expect him to shoot at a good clip for the rest of the year. Nice
pass from Shaw. Pruitt again diving in. Gets the blocking foul. Torres looked to have the position, but the official thought otherwise.
We're going to have to take another look at that one because that's just signature Austin Torres. They're getting in position. He's outside of the circle. Is he? He's moving a little bit. Yeah, his feet aren't quite set. Slides under him a bit. I'm okay with that call.
Jelani Pruitt, his third or fourth time driving inside the paint. The redshirt senior from Gary, Indiana, which is about a half hour away from South Bend. Transferred from West Florida, had to sit out last season, and has been active off the bench early for the Cougars this season.
And you know what? I'm not a big fan of the charge call in general, primarily because I got called for about 1,000 of them. But I just don't necessarily understand it. I like to see guys attack the basket, and I certainly understand the rule behind it. But yeah, well, I could do without it on some days. I'll tell you that much.
Bonzi was able to break the press right away. Fadeaway jump shot off the mark. Here comes Fred Sims Jr. He's got 6 points, 2 of 7 from the field. He's the guy the Cougars look for when they need a basket the most. Shaw, dribble drive, pass out wide to an open Sims Jr. Spin move inside the lane, puts it up and in.
Yeah, and I think Bonzi needs to do a little bit better job closing out there. Just because Fred Sims hasn't knocked down a 3 yet, and he hasn't shown that pure of a stroke. So I think you get a late challenge, you get your feet set, get your hands up, but don't give him an angle to the basket.
And Colson answers to your call with a floating jump shot inside the paint. Irish up 22.
Well, he's always good for that. He'll get it back for you in a hurry.
Bonzi Colson already with 11 points, 6 rebounds, heading towards another double-double. Rebound Torres. There's that ever so famous pick and roll between Farrell and Colson, but kicked out to Pfluger. Back to Gibbs. Gibbs will get the screen from Torres, but goes the other way. Reverse layup with the right hand off the glass.
A nice little reversal of the fortune there for TJ Gibbs. Torres is so good at sprinting out there fast to get those screens, but Temple saw it coming and took the wide open lane to the bucket.
And Simmons on the other end cleaning up Shaw's missed attempt. And that fast pace has kept up. Chicago State, though, just shooting 5 of 18 from the floor, 28%. Notre Dame, a grand 54%, 13 of 24. Gibbs diving in the lane, kick out. Farrell for 3. Too strong, and Colson goes to the ground, but it'll stay here.
A miss there from Farrell, but again, you see the arc. He's kind of corrected it. It comes off really softly, gives your guy a chance to get the offensive rebound, and we get the ball back. So it's a good miss.
And TJ Gibbs, we mentioned him early how good he is passing the ball, but how about diving to the lane? 21, a career high point mark for him against DePaul this past Saturday.
Well, he lost all that weight, and it's definitely made him quicker and more agile, and I just think ready to play for longer stints, which he's going to have to do as a starter, and just a good read there from TJ getting to the basket.
Farrell trying to find Torres inside the paint, deflected out of bounds. It'll stay here, the shot clock at 22. And there is TJ, otherwise known as Temple, as you said. His first name being Temple, and 5 double-figure games last season. I think that's going to change a whole lot this year. The Irish will keep it once again.
I think so as well, and I apologize for calling him Temple, but it's just such a cool name. I feel like he's going to get to a point at some point in his life where he's like, you know what, I got to be called Temple. There's a lot of TJs out there. There are only a couple Temples.
Wonder if it comes from his father who played football at Temple. Always a question. And he, of course, comes from a basketball family. His brother Ashton played for Pittsburgh, and his brother Sterling finished his career at Connecticut. And Gibbs gets fouled, and back to the line go the Irish.
It's just too good of a name to not go by. You're at Notre Dame. It's Temple, baby. You got to be Temple.
Head coach Bray talking about him taking that extra step this season. Needs to take that open shot. And we've already seen him attacking the basket, not only looking for his own shot, but his teammates as well, and he knocks down the first shot of the 1-on-1.
And he's been a great free throw shooter since his first day on campus. It's just very calm, very collected. With him at the line, you always feel like it's going in.
Gibbs only scored 9 points against Mount St. Mary's, but he's already matched that. He's got 10 tonight. 2 for 2 from the stripe, 3 for 4 from the field. Irish up big.
And that's the thing you like about Temple as well, though, is he doesn't force the game. He lets it come to him. Like you said, 9 points against Mount St. Mary's. But he didn't force anything. He's just playing within himself, playing within the confines of the system, within the team, and he does what the Irish need to win. And you got to respect a player like that, and you can see why he's got the trust of Coach Bray this early on in his career.
That's the second foul on Torres, so 2 quick fouls for Torres in 3 minutes. And that'll put Montana Bird at the line for the 1-on-1 there in the bonus now as well. The senior from Mount Carmel, the high school in Chicago. A lot of Chicago kids playing, of course, for this Cougar team. And helps when your head coach, Tracy Dildy, has been doing it for a long time in Chicago, a UIC point guard back in the day. Has also been an assistant for the Flames and DePaul, and now a head coach with 52 wins at Chicago State. Bird, 2 for 2 from the line. His first free throw attempts of the season. He struggled from the field, but on the board there.
A little token pressure here from Chicago State. Nothing too serious.
We saw the full court press early. Irish were able to break it quite easily. Harvey thinking about the 1-on-1. How about that jump shot from the free throw stripe? Too strong. Farrell picks up the rebound on the long rebound. Goes all the way to the basket, up and in. What a drive by Farrell. You can't shoot it well. Why not go to the line by hitting a jump shot as well inside the paint?
I mean, just an underrated athlete, honestly. He's so fast, but he gets in there, he rises up, takes the contact. He's able to contort his body, get that up on the glass, get the nice little and one there. And I got to say, he might have the best beard in Notre Dame history. I don't know if anyone's had that much testosterone coursing through their veins at such a young age, but that thing is full. I could see him becoming maybe a meme after this Maui tournament, man. He's like the mascot gone on steroids or something.
I've seen you grow a beard. You can't grow one better than Farrell?
I couldn't grow it in college.
Okay.
That's for sure. So, yeah, you got to give props to that young man.
So Farrell completes the three-point play the old-fashioned way. He now guards Nathan Townsend Jr. Out wide of the corner to Sims Jr. He shoots, no good. Rimmed in and out, rebound Burns.
Yeah, so far, if I'm the Irish, I'm saying let him shoot and let's protect the drive because that thing's not coming off too cleanly this evening.
Farrell back inside. Right-hand layup off the glass. Notre Dame all over this one, 43-16. Shooting 54% from the field. Inside, Pruitt, too strong. Got his own miss. Out to Townsend, and look at Pfluger stepping in. Pfluger, crossover, has to step back out. Mooney in there as well. Has to find Mooney. And a foul inside. Burns fouled by Montana Bird, so he'll be on the line when we come back. But it's all Irish, 43-16. Matt Farrell doing it all with 12 points. Back here at Purcell Pavilion, Mike Bray and the Irish up 43-16. And last week, Bonzie Colson named to the AP preseason All-American team. And what a squad that would be, Zach Hillisland. Bonzie, of course, alongside Trier, Brunson, Porter Jr., and Bridges.
Yeah, I hope I never have to see those guys on the court at the same time. I might have a panic attack. But certainly Bonzie living up to the billing early on this year as we expected him to. But, you know, he's so in control of his game right now, so in control of his body, playing extremely well, and his tempo has been brilliant since the first tip this season. And I'm just excited to get into some maybe tougher competition and see what he has to offer.
Yeah, Burns knocks down both free throws. Can't wait for that Notre Dame-Michigan State matchup.
Oh, man.
Bridges, Colson, November 30th. Mark your calendars.
That building is going to be rocking, if I had to guess.
They'll be at Michigan State on ESPN. In the corner, an open three by Bell. And make it a 2, actually, but he knocks it down.
Yeah, one of the worst shots in basketball, they say, to have your foot over that line. It's like, you're already back there, young man. Just take a half step back and get yourself a point.
Keep an eye out to Nikola Jogo in for the Irish as Harvey going up strong, getting the hoop plus the harm, and will shoot one more at the line.
And just great passing there. Goes into the high post to Mooney. Nice bounce pass to Harvey, who collects himself, goes up strong, straight, doesn't get the charge, and is able to power it up there and get the nice little finish there and a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, what strength going up.
I mean, you just look at him. He doesn't look like a freshman, right? He's got the arms, he's got the legs. Like, give him a couple of years in a weight program here, it's going to be scary.
It will be. And Mike Bray said a lot of nice things already about him. You talked about the physical readiness to play in the ACC, for example, and just one of 2 DeMatha players in that high school to start as a freshman varsity program, and Adrian Dantley, another Notre Dame guy, was the other one.
Well, that's good company.
Inside, Spear. And Spear couldn't get it to go. Rolled in and out. It'll stay here with the Cougars.
And I'm glad to see some minutes here for Nick Jogo as well. He's a guy who was a red shirt last year, put in some time, but he has tremendous skills. He can shoot it really well. He's a pretty good athlete. He bounces up off 1 foot, bounces up off 2, and I'm just waiting for him to get his rhythm because I think he can really contribute here down the line as well for the Irish.
Only one starter in for Chicago State right now. That's Patrick Spear. Corner shot by Pruitt, and he hits the 3. Pruitt struggled from the field so far, but knocks down the shot from a long distance to cut this one to 27. Steal by Townsend Jr., turnover, Jogo. Townsend Jr., the freshman, and he traveled. Good job by Jogo to recover.
I don't think Jogo expected that young man to get up as high as he did. He's kind of a shorter fella, but he exploded off the floor there and was able to get his hands on that pass. Great defensive effort.
Yeah, Townsend Jr., a true freshman, another Chicago guy. Went to Bogan High School. And no point guard for the Irish, with Jogo kind of being that 6'7" point guard, if you want to label him as that, but so Mike Bray putting some trust into him.
So he's had to take over those responsibilities in practice with the blue squad as TJ Gibbs has moved into the starting lineup. So it's been a good practice for him. I know when he first started out, he was like, I can't do this. This is not my position. I'm not a handler. But, still certainly getting used to it. But he's been making progress, and that's only going to open up other facets of his game. Like we said, a good shooter. So if you can knock down the 3, get him to respect you there, and then put it on the deck a little bit, you're going to be able to score from all places on the court.
And Mooney finds himself on the board, knocks down the first free throw. The sophomore from Orlando, Florida. 4 points, 2 rebounds in 11 minutes against Mount St. Mary's. Hit a 3 against DePaul, and he'll check out as TJ Gibbs steps in. And back to Jogo, at the very least, what a challenge it is for Matt Farrell, too, day in and day out, to go against a guy that is 6'7".
Exactly, and a good replication of what you're going to see as you get into some ACC play with some bigger bodies, live bodies. So, he's going to be battle-tested as that season rolls around.
On the wide side, Dubovitsky. Shot made by Trayvon Bell from downtown. It's been 2 quick threes for the Cougars.
And the coaching staff gave a nice long look at number 30. They're like, was he in the scouting report as a three-point shooter? Maybe, but that's the thing. As soon as you hit one in the game, he's on the radar now.
And how about Harvey responding with a three of his own? And you talked about Bell struggled from three coming into the night. 1 for 10. He makes his second of the season, but again, Harvey, the confidence from the freshman knocking down the corner jump shot.
And a great extra pass there from Joe, and Harvey going right up into his shot. But one thing I love about Harvey's jump shot form and just his process, he gets so high up off the ground. He's got great legs, and that's going to allow him to shoot over bigger and taller defenders as the season goes on.
Pruitt may be struggling from the field, 2 for 6, but active on the boards as well. He's got 4 rebounds, puts back his own miss, so he's got 7. Harvey, drive and kick to Gibbs, three-pointer, good. And not only does Harvey do it shooting the ball, but he can pass too. Nice dribble drive move, finding the open Gibbs.
Great kick and great shot preparation there from Gibbs, getting his pups ready and going right into his form and knocking it down.
Chicago State will take the final shot, down 30 here in the opening half. Townsend Jr., the young point guard, by Jogo. Shot by Dubovitsky, and he hits. And what a finish to the first half. Harvey will let it go, no good, but 3 straight threes by Chicago State to finish the half, but it's been all Irish, 56-29.
Great half from the Irish. They did what we expected them to do, coming out, executing, playing well on both ends of the floor, and getting ready for that Maui tournament this weekend.
And Notre Dame easing the way to a 3-0 start. Started the last year 9-0 as they look to that Maui Invitational. We head to the break. Irish up big here at Purcell Pavilion. We're jumping rope at Purcell Pavilion. Notre Dame, though, with a sizable 56-29 lead at the half. And Bonzie Colson decided to bypass the NBA draft this past summer. And Mike Bray and company certainly happy to see him back in the starting 5.
Well, anytime you can get a guy back in your lineup that is so so offensively proficient, it's beautiful to watch. And as the game progresses to more of a three-point focused game, it's a pleasure to watch a guy who really takes his mid-range game seriously. He's comfortable all around that floor. He can do it with his back to the basket. He can face up, but just a great touch for a guy his size.
Yeah, Colson shot 43% from the three-point line last year as well. And with that, we'll send you to the Into Focus series made by Notre Dame, Colson's Can, with Bonzie Colson.
I always just keep God first, and my dad tells me, Colson's Can, and you have to take the trash out and go 4 blocks, 4 o'clock in the morning. Colson's can do that. Colson's can pass this test. Colson's can, win this game. Colson's can fight adversity. Every text just says Colson's can. I was always surrounded by the game. My dad coached Boston College. I was assistant coach there. They always called me Little Bonds. My dad was Big Bonds. I was always Little Bonds. And every time he had an away game or a home game, he would come back at like 3 or 4 in the middle of the night, and I would just wait at the stairs for him. I remember when my dad told me he lost his coaching job. And I was like, wow, are you serious? And then I started crying, and then I was like, are you going to be able to coach again?
You better find out where number 35 is if you're BC.
He just continued to just stay positive, and he didn't shut down. My family didn't shut down.
Stop! Home by Colson, and Notre Dame leads.
To this day, that's why I play with that energy and with that passion. That BC game is always going to be more personal, and things can happen that you don't have control of every day, and that's something that, has happened within my family. But, I have control of being the best basketball player, the best successful man as I can be. After graduation, I hope that whatever God puts my way, I will, take full opportunity of that, because no matter what happens, Colson's can.
1, 2, 3, good work. Big time win, baby.
Where I'm from, it's not a lot of people who make it, and just be that person that, young kids can look up to. I was once that young kid who wanted that autograph. Me waiting on the stairs for my dad. Now him waiting for me is kind of something different, but you still see that love and that caring, kindness for each other that we share, that basketball feeling that we both felt. It's more than just a game. After the game, my dad said, I love you, do you, and Colson's can, that's something that, it's 2 words, but it means a lot to me, and I feel like I can do anything I put my mind to.
The Father Hesburgh Library looking good tonight, and so are the Irish. 56-29 at the half. A couple minutes away from the second half, and Zach, the Irish got going early. Assists from Farrell, assists from Gibbs, and Gebben getting him going early is a key every time around. The Irish finally shot the ball well in a half as well.
Well, you see the benefits of having 2 point guards in your starting 5, right? You got a lot of guys who can distribute, know how to make the right play, and you see DJ Harvey getting in the mix, has a putback, he's knocked down a couple shots. But the Irish are firing on all cylinders tonight, which I think we expected them to do against the outmatched Chicago State. But still, it's a great game. You got to focus and take care of business.
Yeah, the Irish, you were worried maybe they were looking forward to Maui too much. Not the case in that first half. 11 assists to the 3 turnovers they had, so they're dishing all over the place and shooting the ball well, as I mentioned, and rebounding. When the Irish rebound well, they're really, really hard to beat.
Well, and that's a great thing when you got a guy like Martinez Gebben on the squad, and certainly you want to talk about Bonzi with those arms that just go on for days, and he grabs everything in all sorts of areas, and it really jumpstarts this offensive team, or excuse me, this Irish team, and they get on it on the defensive end, and they certainly crash the glass on the offensive end as well, and it's just an incredible weapon to have.
TJ Gibbs led the way for the Irish with 13 points on 4 of 5 shooting, and Jalen Pruitt with 7 for Chicago State, along with Fred Sims Jr. with 8. And with that, we will head to another break. We'll be back for the second half here on the ACC Network Extra at Purcell Pavilion.
Notre Dame draws us to her. It happens in diverse, sometimes mysterious ways. Regardless of what tugs at you, you come because you belong. And you belong because you share Father Soren's ambition to serve as a force for good in the name of Notre Dame. Today, 175 years after Father Soren laid out that vision, the need is just as great. And you don't have to be on campus to answer the call. Across the country and around the world, 270 Notre Dame clubs stand ready to mobilize the force in this fight for good. Together, we serve the needy. Together, we pray for the marginalized. Together, we support the next generation of Notre Dame students. And together, we celebrate our shared passion for all things Notre Dame. Join us. Get involved in your local Notre Dame club today.
Back inside Purcell Pavilion, a successful first half for the Fighting Irish, ranked 13th in the country, 56-29 on Chicago State. The Irish shot 58% from the field, 5 for 12 from three-point land. And for Chicago State, they struggled 37%, right at their season average, 3 of 6 from three-point land, but haven't taken enough to really warrant anything. And Bonzi Colson, TJ Gibbs leading the way.
Well, it's easily our best first half of this season, which maybe, we're playing Chicago State, so you got to take everything with a grain of salt, but you like to see your guys come out and play confidently. And when you got 2 point guards on the court that have 6 assists and 0 turnovers between the two, you're going to be in pretty good position here. And like you said, you can give Bonzi Colson that ball pretty much anywhere on that court, and he's going to get into his rhythm, do his thing, and knock down jumper after jumper.
And head coach Tracy Dildy of the Cougars going with a little bit of a different lineup. Nathan Townsend Jr. staying in there. Jalen Pruitt, Montana Bird, along with starters Fred Sims Jr. and Glenn Burns for the Irish. Same starting 5 as that began the game with Pfluger, Gibbs, Farrell, Gebben, and Colson. We had a foul there. That was on Pfluger, his first. Sims Jr. driving at the free throw line, puts it up and in. And Sims Jr. leading the way for the Cougars with 10.
Yeah, even though that shot was maybe more challenged than any of his jumpers today, you can tell that he's one of those kinds of players who just enjoys dribbling into his jumpers versus catching and shooting. Just a little bit better rhythm in that J for him off the dribble.
Good ball movement. Gebben lost it, goes up strong, can't get it to go. Loses it again, but kicks it out. New shot clock for the Irish. Farrell, though, for 3. Rebound. Bird.
And again, you see that one with Farrell. It right out of his hand. It didn't have the trajectory as some of those other ones. You knew that was going to be a miss. So he's got to remember to keep that one high.
Farrell 3 for 8. Shot by Sims Jr. no good. He gets the loose ball. Lost it though, and Gibbs picks it up. Make that Colson. Ash will set up. Man-to-man from the Cougars to start the second half. Pfluger lost it. Townsend Jr. stepping in. Ahead to Pruitt. Pruitt up with the left hand and off the glass for two.
And you see Gibbs there just kind of getting out of the way, which might not have been the best defensive play, but in terms of being a smart player, it's like, hey, we're up we're up 20 plus. We got some things on the horizon. Let's just get out of this one without getting hurt, and you got to respect his long-term planning on that one.
Colson sizes up and hits the jumper himself. Zach, he seems to hit it from anywhere on the floor.
If you could have asked me what was going to happen when he shot that, I was going to say it would be a complete brick because his feet were all screwed up. They were offset, but it just goes to show you if that guy just gets a little bit of space, he's going to give that ball a good chance of going in.
3 off the mark by Bird. Townsend Jr. picks up the loose ball. So new shot clock now at 20 for Sims Jr. Met Gibbon. Gets Farrell back on him. Into the corner to Pruitt with the left-hand shot. It's good. So Jelani Pruitt with a 3. He's up to 12.
They got to get that net down. That drives me crazy when they tie the net up like that. Is that even legal? I don't know. Got to send someone to get Jack Nolan out there to take it down.
In the corner to Farrell. Gibbon at the deep elbow. Back to Gibbs. Gibbs on Bird. Driving right hand layup is good. And TJ Gibbs able to put it on the floor. We talked about his agility because he's more lean, and he does it again.
Well, and that's what happens. You know, Chicago State was switching everything there on D, so TJ got a bigger guy in him, knew he was going to have some faster feet, and was able to get all the way to the basket with that beautiful scoop.
And Farrell picked it off. And an offensive foul on Pfluger, who shielded off the defender illegally as Farrell was going up for the layup off the turnover.
Yeah, we're lucky to come out of that with no injuries. Farrell did a good job of recognizing here as he goes to take flight that there's going to be a man underneath him on the landing. So you see him stop looking at the hoop and instead spot the landing and does a good job of not, click-clacking both of his ankles there. So heads-up play from Pfluger, although not the kind of heads-up play we want to see too much of.
Yeah, big-time collision. Bird got the Farrell foot to his face as well, but he's all right. Gibbon with the rebound. Pfluger pushes up ahead to an open Gibbs. Gibbs kicks. Farrell down the lane, finds Gibbon. Another pass out wide to Gibbs, and that's just a beautiful ball movement Mike Bray wants to see.
I mean, I just don't know if there are that many teams out there that are as mature with their pacing and passing as that. A number of guys could have taken a shot, but just waiting to get a better one, and Temple Gibbs capitalizing with that wide open J there.
And Pruitt continuing his surge here in the second half. He's got 14 points. He's already matched his 7 from the first half, and he's back at the line to finish the three-point play.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you knock down a 3 or 2. Not that I've ever done it, but it looks like you just gain so much confidence, and certainly Pruitt riding high right now.
And Pruitt's been a journeyman. This is his 4th school.
Wow.
In his collegiate career, and finishing it up at Chicago State. Last transfer from West Florida, where he averaged 8 and 5. 5 rebounds, that is. Gibbs using the body up and in.
Wow.
Wow, what a strength.
I mean, he lost weight, but he didn't lose any strength. He had a bigger guy on him, got him on his hip, and is able to body him out of the way on that spin move there. Almost knocked the man over. Just a beautiful play there from Temple Gibbs. That's a big-time move.
Maybe leaner, but still showing that strength. And what a night it's been for TJ Gibbs. He's up to 20 points. Make that 21, 7 of 8 from the floor.
Yeah, what an incredible weapon he's been. I think we were all kind of asking ourselves the question this offseason, where is the offense going to come from in the absence of Asturia and VJ Beecham? And certainly thus far this season, Temple Gibbs is making a case to say, hey, give me the ball. I can fill it up for you.
So Gibbs matches his career high that he set on Saturday with 21. Townsend Jr. had to pick up his dribble. Glenn Burns, guarded by Harvey, who just checked in. Pruitt. Around the horn go the Cougars. Inside to Simmons, and the left hook is good.
Yeah, we got the Chicago State bench and fans fired up, seeing the ball go in the hoop a little bit. It's got to be a good feeling.
And they lead this second half, although the margin's still wide, 12-10. Notre Dame 4 for 4 on their last 4 field goals, and Farrell doing everything to get open, just couldn't finish. Back the other way, Sims Jr. met at the rim, and he's fouled as Pfluger was coming down.
Yeah, I think he actually had an argument for the first foul call there, but stuck with it, and the refs rewarded him for his tenacity.
And the Irish in control, up by 25. Mike Bray's team up by 25 as he looks for win number 385. And Zach, the Irish are heading to Maui in Hawaii, and what a bracket it is. They'll start off with the host, Chaminade, but play the winner of Michigan and LSU on the other side. Got some really big-time programs.
Well, just a great early-on test for your ball club to play potentially 3 games in 3 days. Really give you a test for your legs and where you're at conditioning-wise, but a great opportunity to be on the national stage, you know, getting into that holiday weekend and able to make some noise here and maybe climb up the rankings a little bit.
Yeah, so the Irish will start things off with Chaminade on Monday night. And as Mike Bray says, it's a chance to win a championship in the early parts of the season. The Irish won the Legends Classic last season in Brooklyn. And all those games airing on the ESPN family of networks. I'm glad you're joining us for this one. Notre Dame up 66-43. Nick Valdesari, Zach Hillisland inside Purcell Pavilion. Gibbs looking to get by his career high. He's already at 21. Got the 21 against DePaul on Saturday. How about Burns with a hook shot? No good. Harvey rebounds. Harvey almost got pickpocketed. Swings pass over to Colson. Puts it up and in.
Yeah, Harvey almost got picked, but Bonzi, the benefactor there, able to make a nice strong move to the hoop and kind of do-si-do around him and float there in the air and get it off the glass.
Colson with 15 and 6 as Sims Jr. steps into a three-point shot. It's good. Chicago State rolling in the second half. 17 points compared to the Irish 12.
You know, as long as we're up by 20, you got to feel good for Chicago State. They've had some, you know, rough goes of it here early on against some bigger programs. To see the ball go in, and it's got to give you a little bit of confidence here as your season progresses.
And Gibbs continues his night. 23 on the night, a new career high. And Farrell to the rack, and a two-hand jam.
No, that's not a technical foul. I'm sorry. If he lets go of the rim, he's going to die. You have to let him come down safely. That's a terrible call. It's a terrible call. If he lets go of the rim, what's he going to do? He's going to fall on his back. I'm sorry, I'm so fired up, but my goodness. Watch the replay here. Great pick, great steal. He's going all the way down the court. He's 4'0", getting up on the basketball hoop. He's got to do it. He pulls himself up a little bit, but cool. He's earned it. He's got a beard. He's a little guy. He's flying around. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's going to fall on his back. You got to let that one go.
I think Mike Bray agrees with you. Look at that smile on their faces right there. Just gave him a little pat on the head. And Zach Hillisland fired up
it's just
in the second half on
a
two-hand dunk from Farrell. It was a highlight play, though.
It's just so much haterade on that. You know, like this 6'0" warrior goes and gets a dunk, and you're going to call a technical foul. He was going to fall on his back.
So Farrell with 14 on the night, 4 for 10 from the field. Two-hand slam dunk off the turnover, and Gibbs now checking out. And how about TJ Gibbs, the 23 points, a career high, and another look at that Farrell dunk. And he was upset, even gave the official a hug afterwards, and I know Mike Bray didn't mind it.
Here's the thing. It's a victimless crime. Like, who does it hurt to hang on the rim? These rims are built for anything, you know? It's their breakaway. It's fine. I don't get it.
And I think your point's valid about him coming down and not wanting to get injured. As Simmons to the rack and one. Take another look at this.
Certainly fired up here, taking Burns down low into the post. Gets that chicken wing, certainly elbows Burns a little bit. I think you let him play. I think it's okay.
Simmons has been strong tonight. Knocks home the free throw. He's got 9 points. Simmons, a senior. Irish break the press, but maybe not. The turnover by Colson. Coming the other way is Burns. Burns met by the double team. Kicks it out to Pruitt. A little rush there by Colson on the other end. Pruitt trying to drive on Farrell, standing tall. Townsend Jr. faked the pass inside the lane on the glass. Irish come away with it. Farrell the other way. Pfluger stops, pops, hits.
And a great job there on this defensive end from Bonzi, just kind of slapping it off the board away from the Chicago State player. Matt Farrell able to scoop that up, get it down the court, make a perfect pass to Pfluger in stride, who took his time, got his feet set, and let it fly.
Pfluger with 5 points. Kick out. Pruitt. 13 on the shot clock. He's got Harvey on him. Nice face up by Bonzi. Pruitt goes in. Can't get the roll. Kicked out. And that into the stands. It'll be Irish ball.
That fan took it to the chops a little bit. He was trying to catch it, but it
he was ready for it. He wasn't ready for it.
He was not. I don't think anybody was, but yeah, Irish ball.
Mooney checks in for Bonzi Colson. Colson with 15 points, 6 rebounds. Just played 20 minutes, so not having to use him the full 40, if you will.
And if I'm Coach Bray, I know there's still a lot of time left in this game. Chicago State's shown a little bit of life, but you gotta be thinking long term here. We got potentially 3 games in 3 days. You want to preserve these legs, especially after such a long flight going out to Hawaii.
Pruitt lost his balance and traveled on the way up. You're seeing the Cougars push that pace, but another turnover. And the Irish have been good with points off turnover, 16-2 in that advantage. And that was the 12th turnover on the Cougars compared to the 6 by Notre Dame tonight.
Well, certainly no surprise in the stat category there. The Chicago State team has more turnovers and assists on the season, which is, enough to keep most coaches up at night. And that's one of the main tenets of Coach Bray's program. He's like, look, go to class and don't turn the ball over, and pretty much everything else will take care of itself.
I think he's implemented the free throws too.
Sure.
As Burns goes up strong and gets 2 to go. The Irish coming in tonight were at the 80% mark, which they had last season to lead the entire country. And they're 16 for 20, right at that mark again, 80%. And Burns on that field goal has 4 points, his first field goal of the night. In the corner, Sims Jr. giving Pfluger the shimmy, threw it out. Harris diving inside. Burns stood tall.
Somebody get the ball.
And Simmons couldn't get it. And Burns did, and down goes Gibbs.
Don't like to see this, but the good news is I don't think it's an ankle or a knee or anything. It looks like he got just hit in the nose perhaps. So
and Gibbs getting off the floor. We'll be back here at Purcell after this. Notre Dame up 27 with just under 12 minutes remaining here in the second half. And we saw Gibbs go down on the, looked like he took an elbow from Deontay Simmons, and you take a look here on the offensive rebound, it looked like he just got a left elbow to his face.
Yeah, he's getting in the mix there. That left arm comes down a little bit too aggressively for my taking, but I guess we'll just ascribe that to early season clumsiness and nothing more.
Yeah, Gibbs is able to get up. He's going to shoot the 3, short on that one. Burns with the rebound at the 3-point line. Harvey will reset for the new shot clock. And how about Gibbs? 23 points, a new career high. And, yeah, Harvey definitely traveled on that one, and he's a little confused, but he wanted to pass it, came back down, and then walked.
Well, he took about 35 steps there, and that's one way you can tell a young man watches perhaps too much NBA and not enough college basketball. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he was going to walk clear across the country if we weren't going to stop him.
I like the step count. It was certainly valid. Here comes Sims Jr. on the wraparound. Goes up. Can't get it to go. And somehow, some way, Harris coming away with a rebound, and that one's kicked out. It looks to stay here with Chicago State.
Yeah, Chicago State showed a little bit of life, but we got this, the Irish got to stretch back out to 27. They've calmed down a little bit. I'm just hoping we get to see the Liam, what's his name, Liam Nelligan?
Yeah,
the
Nelligan
and
the
Matt
show.
Gregory's of the world. That'll be fun.
A nice drive by Glenn Burns, fouled on the way up. So he came across the right elbow and down to the right block. He'll head to the line to shoot 2. Burns hasn't attempted a field goal tonight. We're taking a look at this one.
Yeah, you always, when you don't attempt any field goals and you go to the line for the first time, you wonder how that's going to pay off. Hopefully he can really focus and key in on his practice, because I always felt like this one's coming off. But, hey, there he goes. Young man's got a lot of confidence and focus.
Glenn Burns knocks down the first free throw. He leads the team in free throw percentage, now 12 for 13 on the season. He's a transfer from Danville Area Community College in Illinois and had 10 points, 5 assists in the bounce-back win against Silver Lake College. And notice that combo guard. Head coach Tracy Dildy likes him on the defensive side, but he goes 1 for 2 from the line. Bonzi Colson checked back in.
Yeah, he needs to get some more rebounds. We can't have him not getting a double-double in this game.
Yeah, he had 6 rebounds in the first 7 or so minutes. A nice steal there by Bell, all the way up ahead to Sims Jr.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't finish. Rebound Simmons. He's been all over the place, and he finishes with the hook.
Yeah, I thought Bonzi Colson might have actually goaltended that first attempt, but the refs trying to swallow their whistles and perhaps get a late meal here while the restaurants are still open.
That one all the way to us. A turnover by Notre Dame.
I'll tell you what, you got to respect these Chicago State guys, though. They're down 24, and they're still clapping and cheering and getting excited, and that's what you want to see as a coach. Is you don't want to see your team quit. And as long as you're playing hard, you can deal with most other problems. That's
what you like about Tracy Dildy, now in his 8th season. Unfortunately, his team turns the ball over. Farrell all the way, but what a block at the basket by Harris. The Irish regain, and again, they're playing with some energy. And that's just the style that Dildy has implemented. They're not the type of team that's going to knock off a top 25 team in the country.
Careful here.
As Colson goes to the ground, is fouled.
Come on, guys. Someone's got to stand up for Bonzi Colson
and
on
has
that
to run
play.
away.
You can't have 3 guys dive at, the ACC Player of the Year here and not have anyone get in your face. Maybe, maybe I'm old school in my ripe old age of 31. But you got a guy diving his legs there, another guy coming in late diving. And certainly it's good hustle and all that. I respect it, but I would have liked maybe to see Martin Esgebben get over there and play the enforcer a little bit and say, look, like I respect the hustle, but you got to get away from my guy right here because this is my guy. We need him for the rest of the season. We don't need to get his ankle torn up when you're down by 24. You know what I'm saying?
So the Irish will have the inbounds up by 24 with just about 10 minutes left. Another zone from the Cougars. Gibbs dissects into the corner for Farrell. He's got to do something with it. All the way to the paint, left hand and in.
Just so explosive. And he's one of those players that has this great kind of like quick double dribble where he gets it on the floor really quickly and squeezes through the tight spot and able to power it up in the glass. Just a lot of fun to watch that Farrell.
Great head fakes as well. Inside, Simmons denied by Colson and gets the rebound as well. Gibbs back to Colson. Farrell driving again. And how about that floater up and in? Farrell having himself a game up to 18 points. That's a season high for Matty Farrell.
And he's had a ton in the paint today, too. I don't know if we're going to see him experiencing the paint as much as he will for the rest of the year.
Irish up 81-53 here at Purcell Pavilion. Under 10 left in this one. (81-53) the score. Mike Brady looking for win number 385 here at Notre Dame, as his team has controlled this one from the tip, have led the entire way. And with under 10 minutes now, reaching that 9-minute mark, looking to close this one before heading to Maui. Colson stepping in. Burns into the corner. A shot no good by Bell.
And the Irish working out that 1-2-2 zone again. It looked that Mike Bray hasn't used much, at least in my memory, but certainly a good look for this Irish with their active hands and athleticism. And Bonzi Colson getting a tap on that and able to get back in the play to gather the rebound as well. So could be a nice defensive weapon here for the Irish this year.
Gibbs inside and a charge as Simmons, who's been terrific tonight, stepping in and getting the charge there.
Yeah, and I think that was a good call. I know I got him a man earlier for that technical, but I think, yep, you see him get over. I think he's there in time and straight up, so I can live with that call.
So Mike Bray giving his starters a last run here. Mixing in some of those zones perhaps to see if they can execute them. A turnover there. Here's Gibbs in transition. Gibbs fighting through defenders.
Wow.
What a pass to Farrell. Open for three, couldn't get it to go. Marty Gebbin with the rebound and the putback.
I'll tell you what, the referees have forgiven Marty Gebbin of all of his sins before tonight, because that one, he's probably getting called in most games, but he just took that as if, he saw a third grader with a lunch that he liked and took it right out of his hands and smashed it within minutes. So that was a great play there from Marty.
And Gebbin with 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting in 16 minutes. Got 3 rebounds as well. Burns. Kick out, extra pass into the corner. Driving the lane is Harris. He's met at the rim by Colson, and he'll head to the line.
Yeah, you know what? I think Bonzi's a little bit fired up, I'd say. He kind of followed through a little bit on that block attempt and gave a little bit of a stare down. I think he's probably got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder from that earlier play where they were diving on his legs.
A competitive guy, no doubt about it. Irish up 30 here at Purcell Pavilion. Back here at Purcell Pavilion, Mike Bray wearing that classic turtleneck as he looks for a win number 385 we alluded to earlier. And what a signing day the Irish had last week. And they even added another guy in Chris Doherty, another Massachusetts product. He played alongside Nate Laszewski in AAU ball, and he is along that list of 4 guys. Can you remember the last time Notre Dame had 5 guys in their signing class?
I can't even begin to think. I mean, maybe even 4. I mean, I was
Right.
part of a 4-man class, but it just shows what the staff has been able to do, hitting the road, getting out there, and it certainly speaks to their success the past couple of years as well, getting to the Elite Eights. But it's a program that kids want to be a part of.
Yeah, Elite Eights, and you mentioned the staff, Ryan Ayers, Ryan Humphrey, former players at Notre Dame, Eric Atkins, the video coordinator, now part of that staff as well. And, yeah, 5 guys for Notre Dame. Of course, they lose a lot with Gebbin, Colson, Farrell, Torres, and also Gregory, who's a scholarship player this season. So 5 guys are gone off scholarship, and Chicago State keeping that press on. They've given a valiant effort here in the second half. Notre Dame just has a 2-point edge on them in the last 12 minutes and some change. Irish starter still in there. Pfluger driving the lane, and he gets fouled. Whacked in the head, as you said, Zach, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear the whistle, so that's why I jumped in and got all excited. But great job there from Rex, taking it to the basket, going up and flying. But, yeah, got raked across the face there. Nothing malicious, certainly just trying to stop a man from making a play. And hopefully Rex can regain his wits and step to the free throw line and knock these down.
And he does knock down the first one. I mentioned his career day against Mount St. Mary's, 13 points, 10 rebounds. So career highs in those marks, but also his first career double-double, 7 free throw makes. Yep. And you talked about the no turnovers. That's got to be something Mike Bray loves.
It's just, a guy like him, he's all over the court. He's playing defense for you like crazy. He's been crashing the boards really well this year. And if you can get a guy like him playing mistake-free basketball, you're going to have to keep him on the floor for 35-plus minutes a game.
No doubt about it. Pfluger heads to the bench. He does lead the team in minutes with 28 tonight. He had a career-high 36 minutes against DePaul in the win on Saturday to open up Wintrust Arena. Irish in that zone again. Shot well off the mark by Dubovitsky, but it stays here, a new shot clock for the Cougars.
He certainly stepped into it with confidence and giving himself a little clap maybe to wake those hands up a bit more to find some extra juice on the next one.
Yeah, Dubovitsky had knocked down his first 3. A couple changes here. Colson, Gebbin joined Pfluger on the bench, those starters, and now it's 3 younger guys alongside Farrell and Torres. So Gibbs, Mooney, and Harvey alongside them, and a denial at the rim.
And I'm a little surprised that Pruitt hasn't gotten up another 3-point shot after his good start there. He's been looking to drive, which you certainly can't knock him for, but maybe you want to test the heat a little bit and see if he still got it. Especially when you're going in with those tall trees. Mooney going up there and pinning that one on the glass.
Yeah, nice rising play by Mooney. And Burns picks up the foul. That's his 4th, so just 1 away from fouling out. And Notre Dame in the bonus, so they'll head to the line to shoot 1-on-1. And here's that block once again. Pruitt driving the lane, and Mooney, great. Going up with 2 hands, that's something you used to do.
Well, I tried to. I don't know if I was bouncing quite like that, but Mooney's certainly wearing that 33 with pride. Did a great job, lined that one up, went up, didn't foul at all, and was able to pin it on the glass. A great defensive play there from the young man.
So despite Chicago State keeping this a close second half, Notre Dame has extended the lead to 31. Gibbs, step back, 3, off the mark, rebound Mooney, and an easy jam for the sophomore.
And that's one thing I love about Mooney. He's got a dunk mentality. Anytime he gets that ball in and around the rim, he is not thinking layup. He is going to try to get that and rip that rim down, and certainly like to have that mentality as you get into the ACC play and you play against some of those big boys as well.
Sims, junior, off the mark. Rebound Burns. Pruitt, kick it out. Dubovitsky's got 2 men on him. And a shot clock under 20 seconds. Burns driving the kick. Sims Jr. another 3, and he hits that one.
I mean, it's just got the squirreliest spin on it. It's like a slowly, like almost like a barrel roll, but got that one to fall.
And he's got 19, so a season high for him. In fact, ties his season high. Scored 19 against Silver Lake College. He averaged 18 points per game last season to lead the team. Harvey thought about it. Nice dribble drive move, puts it up. Just short, but will head to the line.
I got to tell you, the footwork from DJ Harvey on that play, it's one of his go-to moves. He loves to do it. It's, the classic jab series where you fake to your right and you go the weak side. Right there, you see that most players travel on that. And we saw one of the Chicago State players travel on that same exact move in the first half, but he's just got such a calmness and a sure-footedness that he's able to do that move without traveling, and it's going to be a great weapon for him, especially as he starts to knock down that three and people respect his range.
And Gibbs will head to the bench, gets an ovation from the crowd. 23 points for him, a new career high after scoring 21 against DePaul on Saturday. And Matt Gregory is in, a scholarship player now, a senior from Avon, Indiana, just down the road. And he's got 4 career points. And, Zach, anytime he touches the ball, the crowd's going to go wild.
Absolutely. And such a cool story as well. Just a guy who's been such a good young man for this program, knows what Coach Bray likes to do, and gets rewarded with a scholarship. You got to respect everything going on with that situation.
And he might not play a lot of minutes this year, but head coach Mike Bray is going to rely on his leadership in the locker room. No question about it. As Burns drives and uses his strength to get up there and put the layup off the glass. And Jogo also in there as he brings the ball down the court.
Watching these young guys dribble the basketball these days, and I'm sure I was guilty of it as well. I just wonder if 75-year-old people watching the game are just he's carrying it every single play. I could imagine my grandfather at home just throwing a Budweiser at the TV, just getting all upset. But hey, it makes for some entertaining basketball.
And Harvey knocks down the three on the other side. Harvey with 13. That's a career high for him. 4 of 7 shooting, 2 for 4 from downtown. Burns met by Jogo. There's that pesky defense. Pruitt, nice play over to Simmons. Simmons met at the rim, and he's fouled. And Jogo, his first foul of the night.
Yeah, you certainly have to try to dunk that when you've got 3 Irish players in the vicinity. And like you say, the Chicago State team not going away quietly. Certainly the score doesn't reflect their effort tonight, but you got to be happy if you're the coach, because these guys just keep playing hard and trying to make highlight plays and get a dunk.
Yeah, they've played 13 guys tonight. A large rotation as, Tracy Dildy trying to look for guys to rely on. This is a roster that has a lot of transfer players, and they'll take on Northern Iowa on Saturday before taking on East-West and UMBC at home. Notre Dame, we mentioned, take on Chaminade on Monday in the Maui Invitational. That's a mouthful. And they'll take on the winner of Michigan LSU if they're able to beat the host Chaminade. I know you're going. It's going to be some warm weather for you. And you mentioned Jack Nolan, the play-by-play guy for Notre Dame Radio Network. You guys are going to be doing those games. And you going to get any sun?
I'm going to get primarily sun, yes. I've already looked at the sunrise time and the sunset time. So it looks like I got to get up about 6:30. Before it sets at 5:30. So there's, a good 11-hour window in there to get some vitamin D before we come back and settle into this gray South Bend Midwestern winter.
It was a great fall, though, in South Bend, a long summer.
Beautiful.
And that rebound. Mooney got the basket on the other end. Jogo driving, lost the handle. That's his second turnover. Like the idea, though. Here's Sims Jr. in transition. The kick out, Pruitt. Townsend Jr. Nice move to his left, back off to Simmons. Met at the rim by Torres. There's that Energizer bunny, as you mentioned, Zach.
Always sticking his nose in there and playing hard. And like you said, Jogo on that last play had the right idea. He was going to do a ball fake to the corner, it looked like, to free up some space to drive, but just lost the handle.
Mooney sizes up for 3. John Mooney, a finishing touch. 97-61 Irish.
I'll tell you what, it's an interesting route from 0% to 90% for John Mooney, but the last 10% finishes very nicely. He's got great rotation and great arc on that jumper.
That's a really good point. It's a little hitch, but he's able to size up well. Torres at the top of the key. Inside to Harvey, going up and fouled at the rack. And that ball got wedged. And the Irish getting some production from their bench. John Mooney hitting the three from the left side. Irish in control. Mike Bray looking at the stat sheet. He's got to be happy with this one, 97-61. We mentioned the recruiting trail for the Notre Dame and how well they've done on signing day so far. How about the Irish in the NBA? You talk about Jaron Grant, a starting point guard in the NBA. How about Pat Connaughton now in that rotation with Portland? Played well last night, and he's doing well, not just on the recruiting trail, but also getting guys in the NBA. And if there's anybody who can attest to that, the 4-year process at Notre Dame, it's you. Well,
you talk about Pat Connaughton as well. It's just such an incredibly hard worker. He's, the two-sport athlete, has been incredibly focused his entire life. And, the Portland Trailblazers picking up that option on his contract at the 11th hour and has really shown that he's been ready to step in and play, knocking down shots, mixing it up, and the ultimate locker room guy. A guy like that could hang on in the NBA for 10 years if he wants, just because he's such a good presence around those guys. So a great Notre Dame man to have representing us in the NBA.
Pruitt flies in to get that offense rebound. Bonzie Colson, a guy that decided to bypass the NBA draft, he went all the way up to number 22 on Chad Ford, ESPN Insider's draft list last season, as Harvey steps in, and he'll get a one-hand jam on the other side.
Yeah, I would have called a foul there as well. I think he got undercut just a bit. You don't just fall over like that if you're not getting your legs kind of swiped at, but, let's get up and out of here. But you talk about Bonzie Colson and flying up the draft boards, and honestly, the only thing that's really holding him back, I'd say, is his age, right? Like, there's this perception that somehow if you're not a freshman or you're not, from international territories, that you don't belong high on draft boards. But the point is, Bonzie Colson can score with anybody, and he can rebound with anyone. As Matt Gregory, gets the fans as loud as they've been all night with knocking down a three. But great moment there for that young man as well. Put him on the draft board.
Yeah, how about it, Matt Gregory? Had 4 career points, add 3 to it. He's got 7. And, I think you're absolutely right about the point about players staying the 4 years. As you'll take a look at Matt Gregory hitting another 3, Liam Nelligan coming in, and Gregory able to size up on this one. And back to Colson, Josh Hart's a guy that Villanova that spent the extra year at Villanova, and he's been playing a lot of minutes for the Lakers this year, was a first-round draft pick. Draymond Green, a Michigan State guy, who was there for 4 years. And, Matt Farrell's a guy that's starting to get some talk for consideration in the NBA as well, as that 3 is off the mark.
Yeah, it just seems that the NBA is skewed so young. And, like, you watch a team like the Lakers, and it's just youth on youth on youth on youth. And you're like, these guys could use some 4-year players like a Bonzie Colson or a Matt Farrell just to show them, what it's like to maybe know the game a little bit more and to really be that consummate professional in terms of showing up and putting in the hard work every day.
Bonzie and TJ Harvey with a career-high 16. John Mooney with a career-high 9. So a lot of career highs being met early in this young season. And we got some note earlier. We talked about a 5-man class. The last one was actually back in 1977. Kelly Tripucka, Gail Salinas, Orlando Wooldridge, Tracy Jackson, and Stan Wilcox. That's a good class if you ask me.
Yeah, you got some NBA guys in there for sure mixing it up, and very good company to be, compared at least numerically to a fantastic class there from back in the day.
And we're under a minute here, and it's been a successful night. Notre Dame knocked off Chicago State by 31 last season. They're looking at a 40-point lead as Jogo heads to the line.
Ooh.
Almost banked that free throw in. Jogo still looking for his first career point as a member of this Fighting Irish team. Played 3 minutes in the Mount St. Mary's game, but just had a foul as a record stat. And he's on the board.
And a good-looking stroke there. And he's going to settle down and come into his own. I think he's getting used to the college pace, getting used to the bright lights and playing in front of people and all that goes with that. But I really like this young man. He's an athlete, and he's learning how to play the point guard position. I think the future is bright for him. He'll take some time to get used to everything.
That shot made by Cameron Bowles, and you're right about Jogo. Mike Bray, he calls him the mystery man. Thinks maybe he's a year away, but with how long a season can be, they might need him down the stretch, especially defensively with that long wingspan as he takes it to the cup, and we'll head back to the line for 2 more.
And you're seeing some of the skills on display right there. A little shimmy crossover, getting into the lane, elevates, and if he doesn't get fouled there, he's putting that one high up on the glass for an easy acrobatic athletic finish. But yeah, he certainly has the tools. He's just going to take some time to put it together. But you can see the elevation on there exploding off the single foot right right foot jump, and he's got it. He's got some tools.
He misses a free throw there, maybe just a little nervous ticks with his first couple attempts, but 1 for 2 again at the line, comes away with 2 points in his 2 trips. And it's been all Irish. Gibbs, again, 23 points to lead the Irish, a career high for him. Farrell added 18 and 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Colson, just a rebound away from another double-double, only had to play 24 minutes, added 15 points and 9 rebounds. As we're under 10, and John Mooney called for the foul.
No, I almost hate that foul as much as the hanging on the rim technical. That was just an exclamation point. Look at Coach Bray, he's smiling there. He's like, man, I had to take my mock turtleneck off for that replay. That was pretty there's no foul there. I don't see where it is whatsoever. But you know what? A little bit of mercy on our Chicago State boys. Thanks for making the trip. But, yeah, that was quite the spike there from Volleyball Mooney.
It was. Pruitt misses the free throw. He's got 15 points on the night. The Irish, impressive 8 blocks tonight. And Mooney already had a block to his name. Wanted a second one there as Pruitt knocks down the second free throw. And the next time you see the Irish play, it'll be on our family of ESPN networks. They'll take on Chaminade in the opening round of the Maui Gym Maui Invitational. A final here, 105-66. Zach, it's great having you on here. Your final thoughts.
Excited for the Irish to get to Maui. We've gotten through these first 3 games. They've taken care of business, and now it's time for a real challenge. And you're playing the hometown crowd of Chaminade, and then an opportunity to play either LSU or Michigan, but it's going to be tough. Tournaments always are. You're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, and I think they're ready for this challenge. They've worked all off season, and this is a veteran squad. They're ready for a good tournament here. They
have a chance to win an early season championship. Mike Bray, win number 385 at Notre Dame, just 9 away from the all-time mark at Notre Dame. A 105-66 final. So for Zach Hillisland, Nick Baldessari, and our producer Nathan Bush saying so long from Purcell Pavilion. All games airing on our ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app, or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. You've been watching a presentation of the ACC Network Extra. Have a terrific weekend ahead.